Welcome back to the Daughters of the Moon podcast. We're grateful that you can join us for another day. This week, Barb, my mom, and I are going to do just kicking it old school here. We're going to pull a card for you guys. Well, we pulled a card. We're going to give our interpretation, kind of like we used to do when we first got started before we had guests on and things like that. And then we're going to interview each other and ask each other some questions. Maybe you'll find out a little bit about us, a little bit about some of our beliefs, those kind of things. So, this is episode 365. We will be hitting 400 this year,
Woohoo!
closer to December, right?
Woohoo!
If you are interested in being on the podcast, if you're watching this and you think, geez, I'd sure love to be one of the guests on there, we have 13 spots left for
This year.
2026. So you'll want to get in. You can do that at our website, daughtersofthemoon.ca, and then you can get on our website. So that's my news that I had to tell.
She's always got news to tell.
So
That's what makes her good at this. It does, it does. Yeah,
so
go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead.
No.
No, you go.
So this is fun actually because we have done so many podcasts. We have shared some of our stuff with some of the people on our podcast and that, but we don't share a lot of what we do. And we're trying to encourage people to get in touch with us for readings and whatever else that we do. And because this year we're going to be doing classes and things like that, we wanted to come on here to let you know that we do have other skills other than just doing a podcast, even though we love the podcast. We truly do. And everything that it brings to us, because as much as um, uh, we do with it, mostly Kimmy, because she does all the hard work with it, we also appreciate all the information that comes to us through the people that are coming on here with us. And they teach us something new every day as well. And we're very, very grateful for that.
Yeah, it is so nice because we get to talk to such a variety of people and it keeps it interesting all the time. And, they're giving us this knowledge that, and it's like we're just like everybody else, right? Some things we lean into and some things are not for us, or we'll take a part of it and then, that might become a part of what we do or how we practice or
Yeah.
what we research just a little bit more because it intrigues us. So, it's always interesting.
It's really interesting. And what we gather from it too, we also use it, like Kim said, a lot as well, because it helps us to generate a better podcast for everybody. And it also generates a better way of well-being for us as well. And for our families, because we like to share that with them too when they want to listen.
Right?
Because they are a family.
So yeah, so if anybody has any ideas, we're always open to that as well. So we're on Facebook and Instagram, YouTube. You can DM us on any of those and just let us know what you want to hear and let us know what you like seeing. And so we can keep bringing you more of the stuff that you really want to see and
Right.
the type of topics you want to listen to and those kind of things.
Yeah.
So, and
Okay.
both of us really, really appreciate y'all following us. So
We sure do. Yeah.
we are going to start like we kind of used to by pulling a card. And like I said, we pulled it already pre-starting the podcast today. We're doing the Initiates Oracle by Marcella Kroll and Adam Smith. And if you remember, we had them on our podcast. So um, we're going to use their cards. So the card that came out was Fortitude. So do we want to read it and give our thoughts, or do we want to just give our thoughts?
Let's do our thoughts, and then we can also. I actually had to read the card, because when I looked at the lion biting the sun and the blood coming out, I thought, oh, I wasn't sure how it was. I was receiving that, but when I read it, it just tells you that it's about strength. The sun is about having strength, and the lion is trying to gain the strength from the sun, in order to get all the qualities he's looking for in himself. So it's saying, I'm saying the card is saying to you, reach out to the things that is going to give you the strength that you need to pull your energies to be the person that you want to be and do the things that you want to do. I think that in life, what we do is, particularly us women, and I don't mean to exclude you guys either, But us women, we have that nurture, a lot of us have that nurturing way of giving ourselves, but not really doing enough for ourselves. So this card, I think, is saying, pulling it into you, gather the things that you need for you and be stronger for it. When you take the time, I did that today. Actually, I hadn't taken any time for myself for a while, and I wasn't feeling very good last night. So this morning when I woke up, I decided I was going to take some time for me and do the things that made me feel good about taking that time. I took 2 hours and, without any kind of interruptions, and it really did help me to, distinguish what matters to me and what do I need from me in order to make me feel like I am the person I wanna be and worthy of what we're trying to do and what we're trying to bring into the world from our podcasts and other things that we do. So, this one here really talks about that, finding the boldness in yourself and not being afraid to go out and just kick ass and gather the stuff that you want for you and have some fun with it too. We don't do enough things for ourselves, like dancing in the kitchen or walking around the house even with no clothes on and hope the neighbors don't see us. Little things that gives us some pleasure and it makes us giggle too. Because I think the giggling is a very big impact on how we start our day, how we work with our day, and how we mean to be in this world, and how we want people to uh, approach us because we want to approach them in a good way as well.
Mhm.
So anyway, yeah, it was a good day for me. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, and I just get from this like along the lines of where you were talking, like getting your strength, and I feel like being out in the sunlight and is a really important thing for people because we need that natural light. We like our bodies crave that natural light. So without it, we're just draining ourselves. And so it's to me, it's just talking about getting your strength and getting your healing any way that you can, and the best way is out in nature. But it's also talking about making sure that you're keeping your emotional health well and that you're actually going on the journey that is meant for you and that we're not, just piggybacking onto somebody else's journey because it's easy or it seems, because even in relationships, when we're having relationships, like love relationships or family relationships or whatever, sometimes we just do what our partner or the other person wants. And sometimes we have to say, you
Yeah.
know what, that actually I need to pivot a little bit and do a little bit something else to gain my strength and to gain my power from that. So that's really what I pick up from that.
Yeah. Me too. Me too.
Cool.
Good card.
Okay. Well, shall we read what they say?
Sure.
Okay. Strength, boldness, bravery, perseverance, the lion devouring the sun. The fortitude card appears as a beacon of strength and courage in your life. It embodies the qualities of boldness, bravery, perseverance, and unwavering determination. This card reminds you that you possess the inner fortitude and resilience needed to face challenges head on and emerge victorious. In the symbolism of the card, we see a powerful image, a lion devouring the sun, which represents the ego. This devouring process purifies the ego, transforming it into gold. This imagery suggests that you are currently undergoing a process of inner strength and purification. You have the necessary resources within you to tackle this momentous challenge and unbeatable strength and endurance. The Fortitude card encourages you to tap into your courage and conviction, trust in your abilities, and believe in your capacity to overcome obstacles. This is the time to stand firm in your beliefs and values, and even in the face of adversity. The lion symbolizes courage and leadership, reminding you to assert yourself boldly and confidently. This card signifies a phase where you are called to push through any doubts or fears, draw on your inner reserves of determination and resilience. Know that every step you take towards your goal is supported by your inner strength and the universal forces that align with your highest good. Embrace the spirit of fortitude as you navigate challenges. Your perseverance will lead to success, and your bravery will inspire others. Stay focused, stay strong, and remember that you are capable of achieving greatness. Go forth with courage, for you have everything you need to triumph in this moment. So,
Nice card.
very cool card.
It is a very nice card.
So, all
I
right.
was I was thinking, just as she was reading that, about being brave and things like that. We talked about one of, I think, two of our episodes about ghosts and entities and how we have experienced them in our lifetime and things like that. and what it has given us and what it has introduced to us as individuals, and how we have shared the information of that, particularly with our kids. I did it with Kim and her brother when they were growing up, and she has pushed that on to her children as well. So it's kind of interesting because when we talk about spirits and how they are around us, and what they give us too, not just to scare us. That's not all that it is. They give us other things too. My sister passed away, Kim's aunt, and at the end of May of this year. Since her passing, she has come to visit Kimmy and I so many times in so many different ways. And I wanted to share that because one of the things when you have someone in your life and they're going through a bad time, and she did for a long time, um, with health and things like that, there's times in that when you feel you haven't done enough for them, you wished you had done more for them, and in you're still, after they've passed, you're still thinking about, you still have a little bit of regret. And I was just thinking, it's really interesting because with her coming back and appearing to us in so many different ways since her passing, shows us that she has forgiven us for anything that we couldn't have done or didn't do, because she knows now that we had also our reasons why we couldn't do some of the things that we wanted to do for her. But what so tells me to tell you is when someone goes away in your life, whether it's through a passing of health or something like that, or even if someone you broke up in a relationship, sometimes the energies can still come back to you to help you get through the motions of where you need to travel and what you need to do with it, with the energies that you're feeling because of guilt, shame, happiness, you name. There's a whole repertoire of a list that you could go on. But with her, she comes back and she comes back to us in the craziest ways. And when we're driving, when we're walking, in our bed, sleeping, in our dreams, on the internet, things that you've shared with people on the internet. It's pretty cool because it comes back later and to remind you of times and dates and things like that, of things that we have done. So it's really cool because you get to get a smile on your face and relive the energies that come with that of gratitude. You're so grateful that you have the moments again. And you're so grateful that time has not slipped away everything that you had with that individual to make you feel sad. So what I'm trying to say is try to reach into the things when someone leaves you to bring back the things that create such joy and love around you, that at the end of the day you can give yourself a pat in the back or a little hug and say, you know what, I did my best.
Mhm.
Do you want to accompany that in any way?
No, I think you did a great job of saying that because I just think, people need to know that about their loved ones and that's an important thing to know.
Hmm.
One thing that I'm going to ask you is what is your earliest, because I think people want to know who we are, how we got to where we are right now. And I mean, that's part of it, but what is your earliest remembering of being in this line spiritually?
Okay. Probably the earliest I can remember was when I think I was probably 8 or 9. And I remember seeing spirits in the house and not knowing what to do about that. It was sort of like, what the hell is that? That's naughty. Oh my God. And it scared me, and it's like, if I go back to bed, nobody will know I was even here. And I'll just go to bed and everybody will just, I'll just not never say it. And so that was sort of the first time. I mean, I've been told stories that I don't remember because I was too little. Things that have happened to me, like appearing as an alien when I was like a few weeks old and things like that because of a star that came out of the sky. So, I mean, I guess that, you know, that would probably be the earliest of why I am a silly person that I am, and but I enjoy it. Then then I started later because of circumstances in my household at the time that brought on even more of my spiritual stuff because of me listening to my spirit guides versus what was going on in front of me. So, like you sometimes go into a space where you need to be collective of other things because you don't need to have all the nasties around you. You need to have beautiful things around you. And Spirit shared that with me and probably saved me from a lot of strife in my life
Mhm.
because of it. And because I believed in it too. Does that show you that I believe in almost anything's possible? Yeah, probably. And I really instilled that in the kids too as they were growing up because I was still young when I was seeing all kinds of entities in the house and hearing noises, chains coming up the stair steps when Kimmy was just a baby. Flies in my house that I could never get rid of. Things like that that were around me. It was just trying to tell me that spirit was constantly trying to make me aware that, hey, you're a crazy woman and we got something to share with you. And and it took me forever to come out of the closet, basically, to share it because I was always afraid to share it because I thought people would think I was crazy. And in those days, I was already had a baby and I was only 17. And people already thought, what's wrong with her? Because having babies young was baby having a baby. Basically, I was told that many, many times in my lifetime. Anyway, it was crazy because all the things that they kept telling me, we want you to know we're here, and good and bad. Some of them weren't so very nice things that came around me, but some were really cool and made me go, wonder what the hell that's about. I better look that up, which then encouraged me to look into dreams and look into horoscopes, look into card readings, look into tea leaf reading, look into palmistry, all that type of thing. Because now I had that curious mind. Well, I might as well give her shit and just get her done because obviously they want me to do this. And so I might as well have a little more knowledge about it. And so that's what I've done with Kim and her brother. Um, I never hid the fact that I was in front of them. That was sort of our own personal secret in our own home for a long time.
Mhm.
And so we did cards and everything else. Kimmy caught on really well because she started saying ghosts. I remember her first occurrence of her seeing a ghost when she was not even a year old yet and standing in a playpen. So, I mean, we can share those stories with you someday if you want to hear them. But anyways, that's sort of how I started out with it. And it's just never flagged or went away. Anytime I was too busy working with other things and that kind of thing, it all just kept coming back to me. Okay, you need to be doing this again. And so it wouldn't let me give up. So that's why we're doing what we're doing. How about you? You give your little replay of what
Hmm.
you've done.
So I don't like you. I don't really remember obviously the stuff from when I was a baby. So for me, I remember probably when I was about 9. I remember, and I reflect on this now because now I have a different take on this. But when I was about 9, I believed, and I would look up at the clouds all the time. And if you've seen any of my reels, you know that that's a thing for me. So I would always look up the clouds, and I had this whole story about how there was like this kingdom up in the clouds, and how there was evil and good, and things like that. So another thing was I was very interested in religion. Like I wanted to be in churches and I wanted to find, I guess, my God. And I didn't really understand what that was because we didn't have a super religious upbringing, which was fine because then I got to follow my own path. And I felt just as home in the church as I did sitting down in the ravine writing poetry and picking flowers. And, now when I think back of it, being a teenager and going to the library and finding witchy books and, being drawn to, the House of Frightenstein because I loved the witchy thing in there and the apothecary that was in there. And then it kind of just grew over time of what I was interested in. Mom would teach me tea leaves and, some things would stick. Palmistry, I could do Lifeline, but the rest just it didn't, right? And then now fast forward to where I am and I think back on reflect on that and I believe now that there is these cloud beings and there is all these other things and entities out there and I just find it's just kind of grown on itself over the
Yeah.
time.
I think the really good thing about talking about this is when things come to you, even when you're young, don't not believe. Some of it might not be so pleasant, but at the same time, don't not believe because it could be taking you into an avenue, or it probably is taking you into an avenue of what you should be doing in this lifetime. Because we're always questioning ourselves as the years goes on. What am I the best at? What should I do? But when these type of things appear to you, then you have to follow it up because it's really trying to grab you by the hand and saying, "Look, we have things to show you, and we want you to share it
Hmm.
too." So it's pretty cool because um,
And a little bit of healthy skepticism.
a little bit of healthy
Because
skepticism.
as I think I was
You're
having a
right.
conversation today at work and we were talking about that and I said, even though this is something I truly believe in, right? Like I believe that there is other entities. I believe that there is ghosts. I believe in the power of the divine source to channel through healing and all of these other things. And although I believe in all that, I still have a little bit of skepticism when I'm doing different
You
things to
bet.
be able to
You
say,
bet.
is
Yeah.
this though, or is it not? And then kind of falling into that, right?
I think
So,
you have to question a little bit in order to keep yourself sane, I guess would be probably a good way of putting it. But you have to be, you do have to question what you've seen or what you've heard. And put that as like, if you hear a creak, is that because somebody's opening the door and that's what that noise is? Or is it the house settling a little bit? That
or
type of
is
thing.
it a ghost?
Or is it? Or is it a spirit saying, hello, I wanted your attention? Excuse me. And I mean, so when they keep coming back and they keep making the noise again or whatever, or you see that flash at the side of your face and you go, okay, what the hell was that? And then you sit there for a while and think, okay, that was just, yeah, I don't know. I got floaters in my eyes. So I mean, I go, was that a floater? But anyways, but then you sit back there and you go, no, shit, that was something else. And then you go looking for it. And then spirit's got a funny way of ditching you when you really want to know. And
Yep.
and then coming back later and reiterating what they've done, sort of thing. So you get the proof that you need. Um, but it's interesting because you do have to be skeptical, like Kimmy said, but at the same time, don't completely push it away.
Hmm.
Eh?
Yeah, it's a healthy skepticism, right? What exactly you were saying is, you hear that creak in the house doesn't mean that there is a spirit in your house. There could be 1,000 different reasons that that happened, and that's a healthy thing. When you hear something, when there's other readers or there's somebody healing, and you're just like, I just don't know if that's sitting right. Either A, they're not the healer for you, or maybe there is something really off. So
Yeah.
that kind of skepticism to me is a good thing.
Yeah.
And then lean into the rest of it that
Yeah.
you're just like, nope, this I believe in. I'm going to lean into this a
Yeah.
little bit more.
I think too that Kim and I really try to work on the positive side of all of this, plus not being any way not being real, because there's so much out there that readers and everything else that aren't real, and you don't get the real information that you want. So yeah, what Kimmy said, if you walk in and if it doesn't feel good, just leave, or don't be pulled into something where somebody's trying to pull a lot of money from you, because that also is not a good thing.
Mhm.
So try to go with your gut a lot if you trust your gut and if you should. Um, that if it says to you, yeah, no, maybe I'm not supposed to be here for this one, don't be. If it tells you, yeah, I really like this person and they seem really true and clean to me, I'm going to get that reading or whatever it is,
Mhm.
healing from that individual, because it feels safe and it feels right. You should feel safe too,
Yeah.
with your reading when you're getting it because it is about you.
Yeah. Do you think like healing is cyclical and what we learn is cyclical? So we're always going back to the beginning and kind of reinventing it. So do you think like your journey has led you on this path to do what you're doing and how advanced you are now when little you at 17 thinks about where you are at today's, are you like, holy crap, I didn't think I would pivot quite the way that I pivoted to do all these different modalities and do all these different things?
Totally. I mean, if I had known back then what I know now, oh boy, what a different life it would have been right by now too. But I mean, I think too, yeah, I've grown so much, and I think that the whole idea with it too is as you're moving along with this is trust that this information that's coming to you and the healing and everything else that's coming to you is coming to you because spirit wants you to do that. That's your source of being your own true self,
Mhm.
learning about what is so easy to learn. Like what I don't know if it's part of my maturity in life too. I've been around for a little bit here, but I trust easier, not in people necessarily, but I trust in spirit what they're giving to me because spirit doesn't lie to you. And spirit gives you the things that they know that you can handle. So as if you're generating into a spirit's world of whatever it is, healing, readings, there's so many different modalities of what you can do, Kim. And
Yeah, if I could just dip my toe just a little bit into every single one,
oh, I
that would
know,
make me
eh?
really
Oh, it'd be
happy.
so fun. You know, we
That
can't.
because that's a thing for me is like I'm a jumper, so I'm a like you what are you doing? I want to try that. I want to learn that. I want to, and I haven't finished learning this one back here. So I'm trying to like let's just learn one and then you can learn the next one. But my brain doesn't always think like that because I just get excited because I want to learn and I just want to be so knowledgeable. And it's funny because in this last probably 6 months, you know my God, my source, my whatever you want to call it, is just throwing me things that I was like, hey, I didn't see that one coming. Okay, I didn't see that one coming. They sort of now guide me to like, here you go, try this out. Or, it's like even this group we joined, this artist way. And so we're kind of going through that and keeping each other accountable to do the tasks in that book, which highly recommend for people trying it.
It's pretty cool. It is pretty
It's
cool.
very eye-opening and it's very much about creative. And, it's very interesting because I had a story in my head that told me I wasn't creative, so I couldn't do all these things. And now I'm finding out that that is such a lie. And it's pushing me to expand myself in some different ways. So it's just really intriguing to me the way that we get led to do different things.
It's true, but commenting on your comment there, you being all over the place and dibbing and dabbing and this and that, I did the same thing. But I think that it's like all the different modalities out there. We have so many different modalities, and they want us to dibble dabble in it because they want us to find what it is that creates our joy the most. And also, what happens is we end up blending these
Yes.
things together. And the more we blend them together, the easier it gets to get the messages and things like that, because spirit has all these different ways of integrating themselves into what we're trying to do or what they're trying to teach us to do.
Mhm.
Um, and it's interesting because with with being spiritual doesn't mean that you're still not going to have moments of people pissing you off or pardon my language, but and doing things to you. But if you try to get past it or work through it, then that's also a lesson that spirit's pushing to you, saying this is how you're going to handle it in the future. Or this is what you're going to do and not that anymore.
Mhm.
And so it brings you into a different level of consciousness, awareness,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, and we're
And
just human, so
yeah,
we have to have those,
yeah,
right? We have to have that human emotion and that human action, I think, in order to push ourselves even further up into the spiritual path. Because, and I agree with you, I think we do go into these things to create our own, I think the one thing that I love when I meet people is when they are just so authentically who they are, what they believe in, what their practice is, and what they've incorporated out of the things that they've learned. And
yeah,
I'm just like, that's cool to me
yeah,
because that feels so genuine to
yeah.
me.
So find those people too, because those are the people that will listen to you. And those are the people that are so aware, and they're still learning too. I don't think that we ever stop learning. I don't think spirit ever stops giving us information to help us learn more and touch in with all these different avenues of what we didn't know and now we're learning to know.
Mhm.
I think that it's a constant learning experience, and the higher we generate and move up as we're going through all this, um, the more confident we become too, because we don't question ourselves so much about our abilities of how we do it and what we do. We trust, and trust is the main thing with that. So if you've grown up and you've had some people telling you that you not creative and you're not worth this and not worth that, you know, kick it to the curb because it's not real.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
believe what you believe in, right? Like, it's so funny because for a long time in my life, like I loved, which is so funny because I loved religion so much as a child. And I don't know about the religion part, but I loved that sense of being connected to source. And I didn't know that's what that was, but that's what it was, is I wanted that. And then I went through a really period in my life where I was really, I really kind of didn't like the God word. It really offended me almost. Like I just was like, "Ugh, that's just, it doesn't sit in my mouth. It doesn't sit in my stomach." Not to say that if that is what sits in your stomach and that is your belief, I think that's a great thing. I have now come to
Full circle.
accept that word and allow that into my life and to know that I have my own God source, and whatever that is for me might be different for you, might
Yep.
be different for you.
Yep.
It probably is. But to really, don't let people judge you for what you believe and what that divine power is that is your connection, because it's really important to build that, I think, based on what you feel in your heart and what you feel in your soul. And, just recently I had said to somebody, you know, do the Lord's Prayer. They were trying to get rid of something. I'm like, do the Lord's Prayer. I'm like, it's not in a necessarily religious prayer way, but it's a very, very powerful prayer. So regardless of if you're an atheist or whatever your path is, there's just some tools that we can use. Why wouldn't we use them?
And everybody uses different tools.
Yeah.
And and that's the cool thing about it, is everybody generates their own tools, their own way they want to do things. And it works for them. And as it works for us. You do them because you're successful at it, and you've gained so much confidence because it works for you. And spirit is there with you saying, hey, you're going to do this time. And and it's true. And you just keep putting new things every time you do something. You put a new modality with it, and it's just an automatic, here, you try this. And it just comes, Kim.
Hmm.
It just is like spirit just says, okay, try this one out with it, it might be really neat. And so you do. And sure enough, you get the response back from your clients and things like that. Was, wow, that was really cool. And you're thinking to yourself, yeah, no kidding, it was ever. So follow it through, and don't throw anything off, unless it's really really negative. But no, follow it through.
Yeah. Okay, so we ask everybody this question, so I'm not going to ask you. If you had one thing for people to put in their spiritual toolkit, what would that be for you, for
Oh,
people?
she'd have to ask me
I
that.
did have to.
Okay. The one thing I think would be uh trust that spirit is actually there. Trust yourself to take the time to communicate with spirit so you can get some answers. The more you take time to sit quiet and listen, meditate, whatever gives you that time of peace, take it, because the messages do come through, and what and how to do things also comes through with those messages. And also, I think what it has done for me is make me believe that anything's possible, and just about anything. And I try to always think on the good things, good things in life, because there's bad no matter what. But try to bypass that and just go after what it is that's giving you that feeling of confidence, peace, happiness. Yeah, my toolbox would my tool would be trust and listen and follow through, because that's what you need to do.
I think that's a good thing to put in your box.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay. Right back at you, girl.
I knew you were
You're
going to
do
say
it to
that.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're damn right.
Well, if I had to say one thing to put in your spiritual toolbox, I guess it's kind of a twofold thing for me. One would be journaling, because I am a true believer that when we journal and we are just really dump our stuff, well, one, I now journal in the morning, but I sometimes journal at night because it dumps everything out of my brain so I can actually have a good sleep.
Yeah, that's true. She's
So
teaching you this.
definitely journaling for me is a huge thing, because you find out a lot about yourself and whatever that looks like for you. And everybody journals different, but journaling for me and being out in nature, because I feel like those two things for me really center us as human beings,
Yeah.
and really allow that space. Because the thing that we don't get enough of, that I feel like in this lifetime, is we don't create enough space in our lives, because we're rushing through everything.
Every
We're
day.
rushing to work. We're rushing home from work. We're
Every
wishing life away. You know, I wish it was Friday. I wish it was 4:30. I wish it was next week. I
I
wish
wish I was older. Wish I was younger.
yeah.
Hey?
So we're wishing all these things, and we're wishing our lives away, which is like sad to me in so many ways. So maybe I'll journal about that. But yeah, journaling and being in nature for me,
Yeah.
totally put that into your spiritual toolkit if there's nothing else you can do, because you will find out a lot about yourself.
Nature is so true what she says. So is the journaling. She's been teaching me this all along, but I was a little bit whatever. But I'm getting better. Nature. I love nature too. And I, when the kids were growing up, I tried to do as much as I could in nature, and then the grandkids too, because nature never disappoints you. Well, sometimes it's really cold, but I mean, if you look beyond it, there's always a nice thing about it. You know, you can always warm up. So I mean, go out in nature, experience what the animals. We talk to the animals all the time. We don't care if people think we're crazy or not. It's just what you do. But I mean, we talk to our plants and everything else. I think it's because we believe that everything has energy.
Mhm.
And so we work with that energy with everything that's around us, because why wouldn't we? We want to feel the goodness of anything that's possible around us. So anything you have around you, plants, I don't know, we talk to everything.
Yeah.
So I mean, generate that feeling of I don't know, joy with that too, because it's fun and it does give you a good feeling. Like Kim said, if you journal about it in that time too, yeah, it really does make you have a look at things and go, wow.
Yeah, it sometimes surprises you what your actual thoughts are about things, but yeah, so I think that's the thing. So I guess we're wrapping up. So if you had one last thing to say to everybody that's watching us, what would be your last thought
She's doing it to
to
me
share?
again. Okay. My last thought would be, believe in yourself. Um, don't allow anybody to pull you down to their level. Always try to be above what you think you are, because if you do that, you're guiding yourself into a beautiful existence down the road, and and your imagination can heighten up, and your dreams become more. And the more that you do that, life just brightens up and gets better. Allow yourself to feel life, not just live it. Actually feel it, because man, it's worth feeling. And even the emotions and everything else that come with us teach us something else to make us stronger.
Mhm.
Same question right back to you,
All
girl.
right.
She knew it was
So
coming.
I did. So my final thought is this. My final thought is, first of all, we all need to give ourselves a little bit of grace because we are
Back.
our own worst critics. And so, first of all, we need to give ourselves a little bit of grace as we're going through life because we make these little hiccups in life because we need to learn these different things to move forward. And I really think that I would like to people to really live in your own authenticity. So if you're an emotional person, be an emotional person.
Is what you
And
are.
don't allow others' judgments of you to add to your story. Just find your core authenticity and live in that. And that would be my final
And
thought.
speak up for yourself. Don't be afraid to say the things that you need to say. I'm not saying be rude to people and things like that, but speak up for yourself and make yourself feel like you're important every single day,
Mhm.
because you are. And what you do in this lifetime, as you build them, starting young and getting older, it just gets better. And oh my God, I just can't express enough that yeah, what Kim said, just build on you,
Yeah.
be good to you,
Yeah.
and love it.
Yeah. I know you're the light and you're loved. And if you don't think anyone loves you, we love you. And we really appreciate you all following along with us. In February, we're turning 5 on the podcast. So that's pretty exciting. 400 coming in
We're
December.
excited, I'm
Super
excited.
exciting. So be sure to follow along with us. We hope you're enjoying all of the guests that we have. We're, of course, on our YouTube channel, Daughters of the Moon. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram under Daughters of the Moon. You can check out our website, daughtersofthemoon.ca. On there, you can see the different services that we have,
And we're
that we
building on them all the
offer. And we're
time.
off. Yeah. And like Mom had said earlier, we're going to be doing some classes here locally and then maybe at some point doing them online. So follow along on there. You can, if you email us and want to subscribe to the newsletter, I'm trying to get a little bit better about doing that more monthly.
She's busy.
So just so that you guys can know what we're doing. And, again, we appreciate you following along. So we will see you on the next
And
one.
please do follow us. We love our guests, what they're teaching you and us. And we do want you to find through one of these people what it is that makes your life feel like you want to follow their paths. Because each one of them come on and talk about what they do, give you such a good expression of what they have gone through, how they have found their paths, and where they're going and what they're doing, and how it's given them bliss. And that's what the whole thing was about, was helping you to find what gives you the best feeling and the confidence to go after what you really want to do and feel in your lifetime. That's what the podcast is about. Now, as far as our other things that we do, we love them just as much. But yeah, please look us up, and we would love to do a reading for you, or whatever else, and share it with you. We do long distance healing as well. So you can look us up for that as well, and we can send some healing to you. We can do it together or individually, but look us up, and we can do that for you, because Spirit's always given us more energy to share with you and everyone else.
Mhm. Excellent. And we'll see everybody on the next one. So thanks for following along.
You betcha. Enjoy.